Investigators see flight angle data similarity with Indonesian planeBy Maggie, Fick and HepherMarch 19, 2019, 5.45 Ababa. Investigators probing the Boeing 737 MAX crash in Ethiopia have found similarities in vital flight angle data with an aeroplane that came down off Indonesia, a source says. The nose of a 737 MAX 8 plane. Credit Bloomberg. The Ethiopian Airlines disaster 8 days ago killed 157 people, led to the grounding of Boeing's marquee MAX fleet globally and sparked a high-stakes inquiry for the aviation industry. Analysis of the cockpit recorder showed its so-called angle of attack data was very similar to the Lion Air jet that came down off Jakarta in October, killing 189 people, a person familiar with the investigation said. The angle of attack is a fundamental parameter of flight, measuring the degrees between the airflow and the wing. If it is too high, it can throw the plane into an aerodynamic stall. A flight deck computer's response to an apparently faulty angle of attack sensor is at the heart of the ongoing probe into the Lion Air crash. Investigators combed through the wreckage of the Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 737 MAX jet that crashed shortly after takeoff on March 10. Credit Malageta in Ethiopia's Transport Ministry, France's Air Accident Authority and the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, have all said data shows similarities between the two disasters. Both planes were 737 MAX 8s and crashed minutes after takeoff, with pilots reporting flight control problems. Under scrutiny is a new automated system in the 737 MAX model that guides the nose lower to avoid stalling. Lawmakers and safety experts are asking how thoroughly regulators vetted the system and how well pilots around the world were trained for it when their airlines bought new planes. Loading. Boeing has halted deliveries of its best-selling model that was intended to be the industry standard but is now under a shadow. There were more than 300 MAX airplanes in operation at the time of the Ethiopian crash, and nearly 5,000 more on order. After a 10% drop last week that wiped nearly $25 billion $35 billion off its market share, Boeing stock slid about 2.3% on Monday to $370 $522. Weekend media reports heaped further pressure on Boeing. Loading. The Seattle Times said the company's safety analysis of the MCAS system had crucial flaws, including understating power. It also said the US FAA followed a standard certification process on the MAX rather than extra inquiries. The FAA declined to comment, but has said the process followed normal procedures. The Wall Street Journal reported that prosecutors in U.S. Department of Transportation were scrutinizing the FAA's approval of the MAX series, while a jury had issued a subpoena to at least one person involved in its development. Boeing and the FAA declined to comment on that. Reuters. Boeing crisis. Ethiopian Airlines crash.